Look, she's dropping her earnings. How pathetic. Someone get security. The trash
"You
is
don't
interrupting
belong
the
here,"
party.
the man said, loud enough for the whole room to hear. While the girl's hand shook around a paper cup and the stranger beside her smiled like he had nothing left to lose. The room went quiet in the way snow does before it falls. Everyone heard the words. No one moved. The girl felt every eye on her thrift store coat, on the scuffed shoes she tried to hide under the chair, on the thin envelope that held her last $50. Christmas lights blinked above their heads, cheerful and cruel all at once. While the man in the expensive sweater waited for her to shrink, she did not cry. She did not run. She simply stood there, an orphan girl who had learned long ago that silence was safer than pleading. Beside her stood the fake boyfriend she had hired an hour ago, a man she believed was just another stranger trying to survive the winter. He slipped his hands into his pockets and said nothing. His calm felt strange, almost out of place, like a lighthouse standing in a storm it had seen before. Her name was Lily Carter, and Christmas had never been kind to her. Lily was 22, small-framed, with eyes that carried the weight of many winters. She had grown up in a system that taught her how to pack her life into a trash bag and leave without looking back. By the time she aged out, she had learned how to smile without trusting, how to say thank you without expecting help to last. This year, Christmas hurt more than usual. Her college dorm closed early. Her job at the cafe cut her hours. And the invitation from her boyfriend's family, a boyfriend who had broken up with her 3 weeks before Christmas, arrived anyway. It was a mistake, he said. But the message that followed was clear. His parents wanted to see her one last time. They wanted closure. Or maybe they wanted proof that she had not mattered. Lily almost did not go. But loneliness has a way of whispering lies. It told her that sitting alone on Christmas was worse than being looked down on. It told her that showing up with someone, anyone, would protect her from the pity in their eyes, so she made a choice that felt both brave and foolish. She found an ad pinned to a board near the bus station. Holiday companion. No drama. $50 for the day? No questions. The handwriting was neat, almost to calm. That was how she met him. His name, he said, was Daniel. Just Daniel. He wore a simple coat, clean but worn, and shoes polished by habit, not money. His voice was steady, warm, and careful, like someone who listened more than he spoke. When Lily explained her situation, he nodded without judgment. $50, he repeated. One day, I'll be polite. I'll follow your lead, she apologized for the small amount. He waved it away like it meant nothing. Lily did not know that Daniel Kane had once signed checks larger than the cafe as yearly rent without blinking. She did not know that he had walked away from a life of glass towers and boardrooms. After losing the one person who made all of it feel real, she did not know that he was a billionaire who had not spent Christmas with his own family in 5 years. All she knew was that he showed up. The house they entered was bright and loud, filled with the smell of roasted meat and sweet desserts she could not pronounce. Her ex-boyfriend's family moved through the room with easy confidence, laughter spilling like it belonged to them. When they saw Lily, smiles tightened. When they saw Daniel, eyes scanned him like a price tag. Questions came quickly. Where are you from? What do you do? How long have you been together? Lily answered softly. Daniel answered less. Then came the moment that cut deepest. A relative, loud and proud, laughed and said that Lily always did have a talent for finding projects. He said it like a joke. Others chuckled. Someone suggested she must be collecting charity cases now. That was when the words fell like ice. You don't belong here. Lily felt herself disappear. Years of being unwanted pressed down on her chest. She stared at the floor, counting the cracks in the wood, reminding herself to breathe. Daniel watched it all in silence. He noticed the way Lily's shoulders folded inward. He noticed the way the room chose comfort over kindness. He noticed the way power wore a smile. His past rose quietly in him then. Daniel had grown up with nothing, too. He remembered cold apartments and empty fridges, remembered promising himself that if he ever had power, He would never use it to crush someone smaller. When his company exploded into success, when his name started appearing on lists and covers, he thought he had one. Then his sister died in a winter accident, alone, because she did not want to bother anyone. Daniel sold his shares a year later. He kept enough to fund foundations and quiet promises. He kept his name out of headlines. He learned that money could build walls or bridges, and he chose bridges, even when no one was watching. Back in the living room, Lily finally excused herself to the bathroom. She locked the door and pressed her forehead against the mirror. Her reflection looked tired, small, disposable. She told herself she would leave. She told herself she should have known better. Outside, Daniel remained seated. Another comment landed, sharper this time. Someone said it must be nice to bring a paid date just to feel important. Daniel stood. He did not raise his voice. He did not smile. He simply said that respect costs nothing, and silence can be expensive. The room stilled again. People shifted. Someone scoffed. He went on calm as snowfall. He said that Lily had paid him $50 not to pretend, but to survive a day that was already heavy. He said that anyone who found joy in making her smaller had already lost something far more valuable than money. They laughed. Uneasy now, Daniel reached into his pocket and placed a small card on the table. No logos, no shine. Just a name and a number. He said that he would like to make a donation to the family's charity drive. He said he would match every gift in the room. The host, eager to save face, agreed. Phones came out. Numbers were shared. The room buzzed again, this time with excitement. Then the calls started coming in, the host's phone rang. Then another. Then another. Faces paled. Someone whispered a name, Daniel Kane. Recognition spread like fire through dry leaves. The laughter died. The man who had said she did not belong here went still. His mouth opened. No sound came out. Daniel did not gloat. He did not correct anyone. He simply said that wealth was loud only when it needed to prove something. Real power listened first. Lily returned then, unaware of the shift. She saw the room change around her like a tide pulling back. She saw eyes soften, then drop. Daniel offered her his coat. They left together without applause, without apology, chasing them down the steps. Snow had begun to fall, quiet and clean. Outside, Lily finally spoke. She said she was sorry he had been dragged into that. Daniel shook his head. He said some rooms reveal who people are when they think nothing can happen to them. She asked him why he did it, why he stood up. He said that everyone deserves one place where they are not. It's made to feel small. They walked in silence for a block. Then Lily laughed, a small sound, surprised and free. She said she guessed she owed him more than $50 now. Daniel smiled. He said that kindness was not a transaction. He handed her an envelope. Inside was not money, but a card with a simple note. Call me if you ever need help. No pressure. No debt. They parted ways under a streetlight glowing like a promise. Weeks later, Lily received a letter. It was an acceptance to a scholarship she had applied for and forgotten. The foundation name sounded familiar. Kane Winter Trust, she cried then. Not from shame, but from relief. Months passed. Lily built a life piece by piece. She volunteered. She studied. She learned to sit at tables without apologizing for her presence. 1 year later, on another cold Christmas Eve, she found Daniel at the same bus station. This time, she brought him coffee. They talked. Really talked. Some stories are not about rescue. They are about recognition, that Christmas. Two lonely people learned that family is sometimes chosen, and dignity once given multiplies, because silence can be power, and respect once shown changes everything. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from. Tell us what dignity means to you, and subscribe for more stories that remind us that the quiet ones often carry the strongest hearts.